Breaking news out of Melbourne's southeast this morning where a man has been shot, Lizzie.
Yeah, police say 3 men turned up to a home in Pakenham, getting into an argument with the man inside before one of them was shot. Stephanie Waclawick is at the scene for us in Pakenham. Stephanie, detectives are combing the scene.
Yeah, that's right, Lizzie. It's a set of townhouses here that police have taped off. What we know is that 3 men came to this home in Ripplebrook Walk at about 1 a.m. and that's when a fight broke out with a man who lives at the property. And that's when one of the men was shot. Now, he was taken to hospital with serious injuries. That's where he remains under police guard. Another man stayed at the scene. He will be interviewed by detectives. And a number of other people were also inside the property at the time. It's unclear whether they were friends or family members. It's expected they'll also be questioned by police. As for the other 2 men who were involved in the initial altercation, they remain on the run.
Stephanie, thank you. Next up this Sunday, it's been a busy night for emergency services in Sydney, performing 5 search and rescue missions. Let's go live to today's Jack Hahn, who is in Coogee. Jack, 1 man is still missing this morning.
Well, Lizzie, it was a very busy couple of hours for the New South Wales Police, as you mentioned, from about 7 o'clock last night onwards to about 8:30 here in Coogee. Helicopters were buzzing the sky, searching for a person that was reported missing, swept out to sea. He has still not been found, but officers last night did not find any unattended items or missing belongings on the beach, and there's been no missing persons reports filed. Nonetheless, officers taking zero chances. They'll be back out here very soon, searching the waters again. This was just one of 4 missions, as you mentioned. Another one taking place in Curl. 2 men falling from rocks, requiring a rescue from the police helicopter. And then yet again, next time in the suburb of Clovelly, another man has fallen from rocks, requiring a winch to safety. And then yet again, another person fell from rocks, this time in Gordons Bay, requiring another winch to paramedics. And then police were called once again, this time to Botany Bay, for reports that a boat had overturned. On arrival, they had been told that 4 people were found in the water. It was a fellow boatie that saved these 4 people. They were treated by paramedics on scene. Only 1 person in that case was taken to hospital. Lizzie.
Busy night. Jack Hahn, thank you. Big news out of the tennis world this morning, with men's world number 1 and Australian Open champion Jannik Sinner suspended. The Italian has accepted a 3-month ban from the World Anti-Doping Agency after 2 positive doping tests. WADA has accepted Sinner's explanation that the banned substance entered his body during a massage from a trainer, saying it believes Sinner did not intend to cheat. His suspension will end in early May, therefore he won't miss any Grand Slams. Nick Kyrgios has said it's a sad day for tennis. We will have former player and 9 commentator John Millman on the show a little later. To some news just in, and 3 men have been charged following a dramatic arrest on a Queensland motorway, accused of breaking into a home and stealing guns.
Off the side of the road now.
Get on the side of the road now. Get on the side of the road. Come on, move.
You're under arrest.
Under arrest.
On the ground. You understand that you're under arrest? For break and enter in Castlewell.
For more, let's go live to 9. Queensland reporter Abby Gearin, who is in Brisbane. Abby, take us through how this unfolded.
Good morning to you, Lizzie. Well, police received reports that these weapons had been stolen during a break and enter at a home in Castledine, which is on Brisbane's north side, on Tuesday. The residents weren't there at the time. The home was actually undergoing renovations, but when they returned, they found that this collection was nowhere to be seen. Police will allege that the gang responsible used significant force to pry open a compliant gun safe and take the stash, which included a military-style bayonet. They also say that the accused offenders aren't known to the victims. This crime has sparked a major investigation, police working frantically to track these weapons down. They eventually intercepted these 3 men who are aged in their 30s and 40s and are all from the Ipswich area on the Logan motorway. And a search of their vehicle found that that military-style bayonet was inside. Further inquiries led officers to a shipping container where they located the rest of these weapons. So some good news this morning, guys, that these guns are now off the streets and these alleged offenders are now before the courts.
Abby Gearin there, thank you. Sydney-siders will today find out if the city's train network will again be in meltdown tomorrow. The industrial umpire will make a ruling on the union's actions after the state government accused the union of coordinating a mass sick day on Friday, sparking close to 1,000 cancellations on the network.
I'd love to take credit for a sophisticated covert campaign, but we didn't organise any sort of sick day.
We're here today to seek to prevent this industrial action that's really causing such a difficult time for passengers.
Sydney Trains is this morning putting together backup plans if industrial action goes ahead tomorrow, and we will be joined by the rail union boss after 8 a.m. Victoria's top cop will return to work tomorrow after suffering a bruising no-confidence vote from rank-and-file officers. Shane Patton's decision also follows reports the state government won't be renewing his contract past its expiry date in June in the wake of that vote. If he decides to step down, a caretaker is likely to replace the Chief Commissioner for the rest of his term. As speculation grows about an election being called any day now, new polling from Redbridge this morning suggests the coalition is leading Labor on a two-party preferred sitting at 52% to the ALP's 48%. While on primary votes, Labor sinks to 33% with the Greens on 12%. The Liberal boost is being fuelled by voters who believe the coalition would be better than Labor at handling the big three, that is cost of living, housing and healthcare. Clean-up efforts have begun in WA after ex-tropical cyclone Zelia tore through parts of the state's north. The system forced a remote Indigenous community to be evacuated by chopper due to flooding, while destructive winds brought down hundreds of trees in Port Hedland. Record rainfall has inundated the region, while a cattle farm has also suffered serious damage. Well, it has grown to become one of the biggest events in Australian sport, and now Melbourne wants in on Adelaide's Liv Golf success. The Victorian Liberal Party is hoping to steal the tournament after meeting with Liv bosses, including Greg Norman. But South Australian Premier Peter Malinauskas is hopeful his state can keep the event.
We've got a bit to think about overnight, they've got a bit to think about overnight, and we'll just see what happens. But it's in everyone's interest if we can get this resolved and do it quickly. We've got to make sure it's in the interest of taxpayers though. So far we've got a deal that gets us that.
There could be an announcement on Liv's future today, with South Australia already hosting rights for next year's event. And padum, Kylie Minogue has kicked off her Australian tour in Perth. She belted out all of her classics at RAC Arena and had the crowd spinning around to all of her biggest hits. Stealing the show was 10-year-old Savannah, who gifted a rose to the pop queen before she was brought on stage.
What's your name, Savannah? Savannah. Hi, Savannah. You must go absolute glory. I'm getting lost in your eyes. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, and good news, guys. Savannah will be with us live on Weekend Today, just after 8 a.m.
Do you reckon she slept, or has she been riding on a high all night?
Yeah, no, she's been up all night.